WeWork was once worth $47 billion. It was the hottest startup on earth, a company that rented desks to freelancers and somehow got valued like the next Apple. But by the end of this, you'll know what it really was. Take a guess in the comments before I tell you. Here's the story you were sold. Back in 2010, a charismatic Israeli entrepreneur named Adam Neumann had a vision. Offices were lonely, corporate, and beige. Work should feel like a community. So he opened beautiful spaces with exposed brick, free beer on tap, and neon signs telling you to do what you love. You'd rent a desk by the month. No long lease, no commitment, just show up and belong to something bigger. And people loved it. WeWork exploded across the globe: New York, London, Shanghai, Tel Aviv. By 2019, it operated in over 100 cities. It had more than 500 locations worldwide. It was the biggest private office tenant in Manhattan. The pitch to investors was intoxicating. This wasn't just a real estate company. This was a technology company, a movement. Neumann talked about elevating the world's consciousness, and the money believed him. SoftBank, the Japanese investment giant, poured in billions. Neumann himself became a paper billionaire. At its peak, WeWork was valued at $47 billion. It was about to go public in one of the most anticipated IPOs of the decade. That's the costume. A visionary tech company reinventing how humanity works, printing money by filling the world with beautiful offices. But follow the margin, and the whole thing falls apart in about 6 weeks. Because in August 2019, WeWork filed its paperwork to go public. And for the first time, the public got to see the actual numbers. What they saw was a horror show. Let's start with the losses. In 2018, WeWork lost about $1.9 billion. It lost roughly the same amount it made in revenue. For every dollar coming in, another dollar was setting itself on fire. But the losses weren't even the scariest part. The scary part was the structure. Here's the business stripped naked. WeWork signed long-term leases on office buildings. We're talking 10, 15, sometimes 20-year commitments to landlords. Then it renovated those spaces and rented them back out to customers in short chunks, month to month, sometimes just a hot desk for a few weeks. See the problem? WeWork owed rent for 15 years, but its customers could leave in 30 days. By 2019, WeWork had committed to about $47 billion in future lease payments. That's money it absolutely legally owed. Against that, it had customer commitments of only about $4 billion, so it owed $47 billion. It was only promised $4 billion back. That's not a rounding error. That's a canyon. In a recession, when companies slash costs and freelancers disappear, those month-to-month tenants vanish overnight. But the landlords, they still want their rent for another decade. Now, here's where it gets insulting. WeWork insisted it was a technology company. Tech companies get valued at huge multiples because software scales for almost nothing. But WeWork's technology was a real estate business with an app. Its costs went up almost exactly in line with its revenue. Every new location meant new rent, new renovations, new free beer. Compare it to an actual landlord. A traditional office company like IWG, which runs Regus, was doing roughly the same thing. Renting space, subletting it out, IWG was profitable. It had more locations than WeWork, and its market value was about $4 billion. WeWork wanted to be worth $47 billion. IWG did the same job, made actual money, and was worth $4 billion. The only difference was the neon signs and the word tech. Then investors read the fine print, and it got worse. Adam Neumann had personally bought buildings. Then he leased them back to his own company. He was WeWork's landlord, collecting rent from the business he ran. He'd also trademarked the word we. Then he sold that trademark to his own company for about $6 million. He charged his own startup millions to use the word we. He took out huge personal loans against his stock, one reportedly at an interest rate of about 0.6%. He was pulling cash out while the company hemorrhaged it. And the voting structure meant Neumann had near total control. His shares carried up to 20 votes each. He was essentially unfireable, running a company that lost billions while enriching himself on the side. When the public saw all of this laid out, the reaction was brutal. The rumored valuation collapsed. It went from $47 billion down toward $20 billion, then talk of $10 billion. The IPO was pulled entirely, Neumann was forced out, and SoftBank had to swoop in with a rescue package to stop the whole thing from imploding. As part of the exit, Adam Neumann walked away with a package reported at around $1.7 billion. The founder who torched the company left richer than almost everyone. So what actually happened here? Why did a company that just rented offices manage to lose billions and nearly take a Japanese megabank down with it? Because WeWork was never selling offices, and it was never selling technology. WeWork was doing something very old and very dangerous. It was borrowing long and lending short. It took on decades of fixed obligations and funded them with income that could evaporate in a month. That's not a tech strategy. That's exactly what banks do. And when a bank gets that balance wrong, it collapses. That's a bank run. WeWork built a bank run into its business model and painted it in trendy colors. The free beer, the neon, the elevate your consciousness talk. That was all just a costume over a giant, wobbling stack of mismatched debt. The genius of the con wasn't the offices. It was convincing the smartest money in the world that a landlord with a mismatch problem was a software company with a mission. For a while, it worked. $47 billion worth of worked. So the next time a company tells you it's reimagining a boring old industry, look at what it actually owes and look at how fast its customers can walk out the door. Because the label on the box is almost never what's inside. It's a subprime lender pretending to be a tech startup. Next time, I'll show you how SoftBank, the giant that funded this whole mess, keeps making these same billion-dollar bets over and over. The story's always in the margin.